All right, so if you're just joining us now, my name's Andy, and the guy opposite me is not Evan. Who are you?
It's true.
Sadly,
I'm Will. I am a friend of Andy for many years.
Friend of this hooligan.
A friend of the show. As they say in the biz.
Long time listener, first time joiner. I don't know.
Yeah.
First time co-host.
Yeah, that's true.
So Evan is on an unpaid sabbatical, and Will and I are here on unpaid co-hosting. Basically, everyone's unpaid, is what I mean to say. But yeah, so it's Andy and Will, and this is Badwatch. And Will, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Taken, season 2, episode 1.
I was gonna say which Taken, because there's a Taken that a lot of people generally liked, and then there's this other Taken.
It's the always good idea Netflix series inspired by the popular movie franchise.
And I believe it's since been canceled. So
okay.
I was just reading about that.
Well, there's that.
It is no more. It has gone to meet its maker.
It has been taken from us.
And that's why it's on the show, folks. Dad jokes off the chain. Okay, so let's talk about season 2, episode 1 of Taken. You haven't seen the show before, right?
Oh no. I've seen Taken, the original Taken. Movie.
So you're familiar with the idea.
Yeah, I have a particular set of skills.
Makes me a nightmare.
I literally watched it on YouTube to refresh memory. I'm like, it's been a while since I've seen Taken.
Okay.
Like, let's watch the only part of Taken that really matters. And so I just queued up, crazy Liam Neeson, like talking on the cell phone to the bad people. Mm-hmm. So
it's a delightful scene.
Yes. Yes.
And then, so you hadn't seen the show. I also, dear listeners, had not seen the show, nor I don't think I was really even aware of it. I think I'd seen it briefly while going through
aware
Netflix
of its
stuff.
existence, but I mean that's about it.
Yeah. And then I just saw that it was canceled, or I was reading some bad press about it. I was like, that sounds like Badwatch territory. So I wanted to inflict this tale of this season 2, episode 1 upon you, our dear listeners.
It reminded me of a movie that you guys have to see. Maybe we will get to that later in this episode, but
okay.
That'll be in the ever popular Badwatch 2.
Okay. Electric Boogaloo? Okay.
If you didn't like this Badwatch, you will also not like.
So, season 2, the premiere of Taken here. This had, and I was reading about this episode, and people were like, this is the best opening
sequence ever.
And that statement just made me angry.
So I, in Badwatch, in the Badwatch school, this guy came on, and within like 30 seconds, I had nicknamed him.
Okay.
In my head.
Okay.
I don't really know what his character's name. It really doesn't.
Brian Mills. Brian Mills.
I'm a lesser person for you having inflicted that knowledge on me.
I know. That's why I did it.
Because for me, and again, I think maybe this is why I probably have a slightly better opinion of this series than you, or of this show rather.
Okay.
Episode. He was street brawling Will Ferrell.
Oh my God. Folks, this show just got amazing.
Yeah.
This show became amazing.
That part where he turns around and grabs the dude's billy club, like stares him down. Mm-hmm. He looks like like an intense Will Ferrell on like a 30-day coke bender or something. Like, it is just crazy.
It's Gator come to play. And Gator's bitches are not wearing jimmies.
I was waiting for them to wandering the desert and just be like, milk was a bad choice.
So the season premiere opens on what we find out to be our hero, Brian Mills.
Street brawling Will Ferrell.
Brawling Will Ferrell.
Brawling Will Ferrell.
That makes it immensely better.
Yeah.
He is in a Mexican prison, a black ops.
Sure. Black
site prison.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, but it was all filled with Mexicans. But I was like, I was like, does that mean? I was like, so this is like a holding ground where the CIA puts people they don't like, but they're only Mexicans here? Like, I was like, okay.
The CIA probably doesn't like a lot of Mexicans.
Also, the security was terrible. Like no one, like Black Site in my mind means a professional organization, and this was just hooliganism. They're basically, the guards are having they're allowing the prisoners
too, like
prisoners of their minds.
The inmates are running the asylum.
Yeah. So they have these prison fights, and they're pitting the gringo versus various muscled Mexican men, and he's
regularly beating the shit out of them.
Yeah,
like every time.
Yeah.
Except when he fixes the fights, right? Like once in a while to get his things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we see is him beating the crap out of people and then collecting. Well, it appears like he's collecting trophies. He grabs like pieces of metal. Like one guy, he punches out his gold tooth, and then he keeps it when the guards come and beat him up for fighting, even though they like are fine with it. I was upset with that too. I was like, the pettiness. I was like, that's such an old trope. Like, oh, the guards are evil, we need to hate them.
Yeah.
So it's okay when you kill them later when you escape, sort of thing. I was just like, I was like, okay, all right, guards are bad people too. Everyone's bad, so you can kill anyone and be fine. Got it. Okay. So he's fighting all these people and collecting trophies. He bites some guy's ear and grabs his earring off because he's just retrieving all the metal he can. Also,
I started watching. By the way, this was an aside. This was TV 14, right? And I started watching this.
This is 14?
I started watching this with my wife.
Okay.
Because she's like, how violent is it? I'm like, that's TV 14, so it's going to be okay. Like, that whole sequence, and Gwen is like the baby in one hand and is just like, and I'm like, I'm going to watch this later. This is a hard.
Will mimed cringing and blocking.
Oh yeah, that didn't play very well on the radio. But,
yeah, they didn't quite catch that. I got you, Will. I got you. So yeah,
I like this. Now I'm going to make increasingly
this is going to be great,
and I'm going to make Andy describe them for
3 words.
Listeners at home.
Sounds like. So they are. He's having these fights. He's retrieving this metal. One of the prisoners has a metal cup, which seems like a weird thing to allow a prisoner to have in prison. I was like, again, the Black Site is run by morons, I guess. So he sets down his metal cup, he spits, and he's like, oh, because that means he's a gross person, so it's okay if we hurt him too. So he gets beat up. He takes his earring out of his ear with his teeth. It's not a very surgical procedure. And then he grabs his cup, and the guards are like, no, that's fine. You could just take a metal cup. Nothing. No one would ever misuse any metal for any reason in a prison. That's fine.
We're gonna beat you with billy clubs, but we're gonna let you keep the cup.
Probably not gonna come back to bite anyone in the ass. So he's gathering all these. He's there for like 3 months, 180 days, so 6 months.
Day 180, yeah.
So 6 months of grisly fighting, and
they seem to like he's just doing this every day.
Yeah, it's like day 1, day 7, just
Wolverine healing, like just
Man is unstoppable force of nature.
He's taking it from these guards, and then once in a while he loses a fight.
Yeah.
To get something from the bookie who also dispenses the soaps and the detergents and all of those fun things you need to make.
And they do show a scene of the guards like tormenting him by like making noises. He's trying to sleep, but he's like counting steps and it's like oh okay you like you counted steps in a hallway. I don't really like Did you catch where they are? I mean, I didn't really quite get that. Like, maybe the guard rotations or something. But did you also notice they were keeping them in, like, modified horse stalls? It wasn't actually a prison. That was a horse stall. Like, the door shut, and I was like, that door opens at 2 like, that's a horse stall. They just shoved him in. It's like, all right, this is strange. So they are, he's getting all his goodies ready, and day 180 comes, and he's ready. So he loses his fight, and the guards toss him back in. Or is this day one? The day before that?
Day 179.
179. He's in his cell, and you see him. He gets like he gets a bunch of matches that he's acquired, and again, the guards are letting him hoard boxes of matches. Like they show him
Aren't, like,
MacGyvering the crap out of this.
Room searches like a normal part of.
Thought so, but it's
prison.
Mexico. It's fine. It's weird. It's weird pseudo holidays. They let you just keep what you kill. So he just killed a bunch of people, and they're like, all right, just those are your matches now, I guess. So he's got all these matches. He got that metal cup that we saw earlier, and he's got all this metal. And so what he does is he has sand. He's got a little box, and he makes a mold with wax. And this is how you do forge a mold for forges. Like you put something in sand, and you have something that will melt with hot metal. And so I was like, okay, so he's gonna make a weapon. Okay, that makes sense. But the way he heats up the metal to forge it. To melt it, he puts in this tin cup that he got from the earringed fellow, the now de-earringed fellow. He puts all his metal in there. He puts it looks like some soap to help. I didn't quite get that. I think that was maybe to help stuff bond or something. And then
chemistry, science.
Yeah, science things. But then he put 200 or 300 matches in there to get the heat going. But I was like, I mean, you're still using a tin cup. I don't know about this, bro. And then he puts a little hood up over himself so no one could see the light. And I was like, isn't that just gonna catch any fumes of anything burning? It'd be really rough if you got cancer right out of this. I'm escaped, but I am gonna die now.
I'm taken to chemotherapy.
Yeah. So he pours, and I thought it was really funny because their metal inside the cup is now red hot liquid, but there's no shadows or light reflecting from that. They'll fix it in post, and so he just poured out this glowing hot metal out of this tin cup, makes his jabby sticker thing, which also we find is useful for unlocking locks.
That's what angered me.
Yeah,
I'm like, look, if you're gonna go for the belly, you've got to, and you're forging something in your random metal that you ripped off of other prisoners in fights, you got to do everything you can to make sure that thing's pointy enough to go through somebody. It's not also going to be able to be used as a shiv or as a lockpick. It's either a shiv or it's a lockpick.
Yeah. No. I was like, this also is mostly gold, which is sort of a soft thing. So if you do anything at the wrong angle, it's just mostly just gonna I was like, I don't know about this. This feels like a poor choice. You should have used that tin cup. You should have just done stuff to that. That thing would have been better. I don't.
Doesn't
So he makes his weapon.
This is the Damascus tin shiv.
See the water pattern?
I crunched it 35 times.
Oh my god. So he's got his weapon, and day 180 happens, and he loses his fight, and so he gets hit and he stays down, so he's not as wounded this time around. He goes back to his jail cell, and the guard that we are supposed to hate the most,
grown to hate,
shoves him, and then he's he notices that he looks in his cell because no one's checked his cell for, I don't know, months.
180 days.
Yeah. And he look, and he's got diagrams of the prison.
It's conspiracy theory.
There's string and yarn and who's Kaiser Soze? It was. So
as any heinous black site Mexican prison guard was ready to beat him within an inch of his life at that point.
Right, because so he starts to swing, and Brian turns, and then this was the moment that you described earlier, the Will Ferrell moment.
Yeah.
Well, is it Will Ferrell with F-E-R-A-L at that point? I feel good about that.
Oh man. This is the intangible that I'm bringing to the table right now is the dad joke thing, because Evan's not a father. He's not at that stage of his life yet, and so he doesn't understand the dad joke thing.
So Will Ferrell comes out, and he he punches the other guard once, and he's unconscious because that's how people do when you're in a fantasy world. And then he grabs the other guard, and he stabs him with his gold shiv.
And just looks at him lovingly in the eyes.
And the guard is like, he didn't stab him like in a lung. It looked like he stabbed him kind of like in the gut. So I was like,
right there in the gut
it's like weird that the guard didn't scream at all. I was like, this is, I mean, there's some shock maybe, but I feel like he'd start squawking.
Yeah.
So he's dead, I guess. But it's, he only stabbed him once. I feel like you just want to, like, you should just keep going to make sure this is done. Like, I mean, if you're gonna do it, just do it, right? Like, do the thing.
He was afraid his gold shiv would bend.
Yeah.
Which was also his lockpick.
Yeah,
so
it would bounce off a rib and ruin it.
He needed that for something else.
So then we see him. We spent like 10 minutes describing the opening sequence.
Well, it's the best opening sequence of all time, Andy. Like what else?
And throughout this whole thing, there's this music going on, and it was not doing it for me. So then he steals an outfit from one of the guards, and then he walks out, and he couldn't fit shoes on, so he's barefoot, which is somewhat suspicious. But he gets his outfit, and he starts to leave, and another guard looks at him, and I thought that was like interesting because it's like, I don't know, if your whole thing is like watching people, right, and in a prison, and you're on patrol, and assuming, I mean, it looked like a small prison. It didn't seem like there was a ton of people. You generally know people by how they walk.
Everybody knows your name.
Yeah, everybody knows your name in this prison. It's delightful. Everyone beats everyone with billy clubs. It's a great time. But I was just like, he just looks at him and it's like, oh, I'm sure that's just Timmy, who I haven't really met yet at all. Like, I was like, this was okay.
It's the intern.
Mm-hmm. And he's got long hair, a lot longer hair, and a big old beard. It looks like more than anyone else in the prison guard. That's fine though, whatever. So I was like, that's a tense moment, I guess. And then the next scene is him going up to a door. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, she's like counting out like,
oh, the steps.
21, 22, 23. I'm like, you can't count this in your head. Like,
he's walking and it was like, but I don't. Like, it didn't even make sense why he needed to count. Like, it was a long hallway. Like, it was really... I was like, I don't know...
Right.
I was like, I don't know what you're counting. Like, I don't... Whatever.
He, like, gets to the wall. Like, no, this can't be right. Like, I counted 35 steps, and I've only taken 31.
I forgot to account for my longer stride. Damn these long legs of mine. Damn them. It was so strange. So the next scene is him going up to a wooden gate with like just a crappy lock on it. The crappiest looking like ancient lock. And his lockpick just stabby. It works.
Gold.
Yeah, it works. He's free.
Shiv pick.
Opens the gate and there's a guard.
And then he closes it.
So he opens the gate. He sees a guard calling for a prisoner van to back up further. And he's like, closes it, panics for a second, looks around, and is like, no, I can do this. And then he opens it again. I was like, I don't... Like, did you need a moment to like get ready?
Collect yourself.
Like, you were like, did you leave your purse behind? I don't understand.
I mean, I just one punch killed one guard and like murdered and shivved another one.
Like, it's time to go. Like, there's no time to hang about here.
Second thoughts now. Maybe if I just go back into my cell,
I'll be forgiven. Yeah, he was like, are you staying? So he opens the gate and he walks in, and the other guard notices his bare feet immediately, which I was like, that guard's really observant because people tend not to look at shoes.
That guy needed a raise. Like.
I mean, I've seen Shawshank Redemption. People don't look at shoes. I know these things, all right? So it was very. I was like, okay. So they had him look, and then he was observant enough to look, but not observant enough to track it. To respond quickly. So he's like, oh, and Mr. Mills punches him, and I think he stabs him. No, he just punches him. And then he gets a shotgun.
Because then the gunfighting.
He gets a shotgun, shoots him, and then there's gunfire going on, and I was like waiting for anything to happen in a prison. Like, he didn't get like 60 yards, 100 yards away. Like, this prison isn't that big. He got like 27 steps. I don't know how many steps it was to the gate.
He was counting.
It wasn't. It didn't seem like a lot of steps. He's at the gate and he's And there's gunplay, and I think there's like 3-4 shotgun blasts, and no one's yelling about it. The guys who hear the shotgun blast in the transfer car, they don't yell about it. They just charge in and get taken down. And I was like, and then the prisoner who's in the van helps him because the third guard was going to get the drop on Brian.
Because they were even in a standoff for a few seconds, like before. Yeah, this prisoner.
The prisoner, and the thing was, the prisoner goes, "Wah!" And then he grabs the guard. I was like, that was a poor play. Like you gave him a long time to react because he starts warming up his battle cry, and the guard still has his gun pointed at Brian. I was like, so are we? This is just a theoretical thing, and then the gun got knocked away and fired off. So that was like the third shot, and still everyone's like, no, this is how we celebrate. It's Johnny's birthday, so this is standard operating procedure. We knew, and
they play pretty fast and loose this prison, like. Yeah.
There's one gate to exit. There's one gate out. That's it. There could be multiple entrances. I'm not sure, but in this one, it wasn't like multiple, and there were no other guards. It was just three people in the van, and that was it. Like that's all. It was
with several cans of gasoline just hanging out by.
So then there are plastic things two plastic things of gasoline, and as he's getting in the van with his new compatriot who helped him subdue the other guard, Brian leans out and shoots the gas, and they ignite. I don't know, because metal on plastic causes sparks, I guess, and then there's a massive explosion. I was like, all they needed to do was show like a big propane tank or something, but like two things of gas, they're just like, and then that would be mostly it. Like I was like, I don't know what. It was not the best opening sequence this side of the Mississippi.
I appreciated they kill all the guards, and they have the proverbial key ring, and he unlocks his new friends. I
did sort of like that
things, and then he just takes and just whips them, which of course lands squarely in the middle of the day 181 like fight.
Yeah,
out in the yard, and then they just go nuts, like fighting for the keys to like break out and everything. That was fun.
Yeah, I sort of like that, but it was like there were still a lot of gunfire, guys. Also, the keys. Wait, you know what? This is the Mexican black site. Those keys get you into and out to every single door of the place. So it was every single one of those keys is the master key. I told John to stop carrying them around, but he just wouldn't listen. And so this is what we're dealing with now. I don't know which janitor decided 75 master keys were what we needed, but this is a major problem, and I think we should learn to address it. After we start, having proper security or reactions to gunshots on premises.
Run that training of like how to, not abuse his inmates.
So now we have Brian and his new best pal. I don't actually think we even hear his name ever.
No.
So we got Ferrell, Will Ferrell. And
he kind of looked like, what's that? He's like a famous actor, but I only know him from Jesus from The Big Lebowski.
Is that guy?
No, I don't think
he's like him.
Yeah, John Turturro or something.
It was not him.
No, it was not John Turturro, but
so it was some guy, and I really don't think we ever learned his name, but they are driving away, and then they stop, and Brian's like stealing shoes off of other people because he finds a pair that fit him, and then they're discussing why the other guy was in jail, and he was like I need a coyote to get across the border, to get back to America because I'm a gringo, and it's dangerous for my kind here, I guess, even though I've killed everyone. So they are discussing the plans, and the guy's like, I know a coyote, that they're evil people, and then he's like, they don't like gringos, and then there's like a trill in the music, like da da da, like I was like really, did you just he killed everyone, he had no problem, he went in with nothing and killed several armed people, just Like, and he's been beating people up for 6 months, guys. Like, I don't...
180 days.
Are we supposed to be concerned for his welfare? This guy's like the Terminator. I don't...
And then, like, bring the coyotes, like, this guy stole my money. Like, I paid him to get me across the border.
Yeah, I paid them to take me and my family across the border, and then I was thrown in jail. And then he was like, sort of mad. He was like, he kept my money. I was like, you went to jail. How's he going to give it back to you? Even if he was an honorable coyote, which, I mean, they're coyotes, right? They're not supposed... I don't know what you expected. Like, sorry, I'm sorry. I have to hook up with my friend who's in jail, Mr. Policeman. I have to give him back money for this illegal thing I was going to do for him and his family. Is that acceptable to you? Like, I don't actually. Now that I think about it, that guy didn't do a wrong thing. He didn't do anything wrong. Or maybe, wait, did he say he was betrayed by the coyotes? Never mind. I like my version better. Like coyotes are good people. So, what's...
New Netflix story concept. Good coyotes.
The good coyote, the bad coyote, and the ugly coyote. So they go to the coyote, and it's this creepy old lady who believes in...
Santeria,
I thought it's Santa Muerte. Isn't it like Saint Death or something?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it was like a play on.
They're
Well, that's
not a play.
religion.
I think that's what they do. That's like a group. That's like an actual religious thing. I think for like the gangs. I think they have there's a creepy shrine in the background. So they're throwing in some religion here. Throwing in some religion under the bus, and the negotiation was very terse. There wasn't a lot of like actual discussion. It felt like they were leaving out a lot of words that could have been used to like ease the tension. Like, hi, I'd like to really leave. Like, he was just like Will Ferrell came in and was very tense and set his bag full of shotguns that he stole from the cops down. And I guess that was payment. And I don't just like if you're coyotes, like, I mean, I thought the border had a lot of guns. Like, it seems weird that, like, dirty shotguns...
A major premise of the rest of the episode is, like...
There was a gun
running.
Yeah.
And, guys, like, we can get these from your like, FBI guy who tried to kill you.
Hey,
like,
here's three crappy police shotguns. Like, that'll get me across. It doesn't seem like a really great deal. But so there's, like... There's some posturing from both sides, and then inevitable gunplay happens, and Brian... Will Ferrell comes out on top of everyone, of course. And it was a kind of a cool moment because he's got the bag of guns and Brian's pointing to one of the guards and was like, he stole money from my friend. And she's like, well, I mean, you can't really do anything about it.
She's like, I don't know. It was a very like...
Oh, she's like, I know nothing about this deal.
It was like, very like, I don't know. Like... It's like, well, you can't prove that he took money. Like, is there a written document? Is there like
proof of negative
picture it didn't happen? You know, like.
So, but
she's just found $10,000 lying on the street.
She wanted to charge him like a gringo tax, and he was like, "How about you take my main man here, his family, and me out, and you remove the tax because he already paid your man." And she's like, "Well, why don't I just take everything you have anyways?" And he's like, "Well, I can use all these shotguns to kill your men." She's like, you wouldn't get the gun out of the bag before he killed you. And he like reaches in the gun and it's perfectly aimed, of course. He just reaches the gun and like slams the trigger. Like there's no aiming at all. Slams the trigger and shoots the guy, the guard in the hand. I was like, that is some prime work with that shotgun. And so now I think they were just like really lazy with it. So they had him hold his hand and like cup some ketchup in it and cup it with the other hand. So you actually couldn't see the damage that was wrought. He was like, and he's like, see, I didn't need to take it out of the bag. It's just some not so pithy one-liner. And so they're like, well, he's going to need surgery. I was like, that's a weird consideration right now. And he's like, oh, take my golden shiv made of man teeth and coated in fine patina of cop blood. And so she's like, this is gold. And he's like, there's a lot of people in prison need surgery. And I was like,
take this as an offering for Santa Muerte.
yeah.
That was
Santa Muerte, that was it.
Yeah.
And so now they're off. That's the end of that scene, really.
Like, I like your style.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Turned creepy old lady on, and next scene they're in a truck with new compatriots, family, and Ferrell with Ferrell.
I'm always turned on when people shotgun all of my minions.
And it was like she was like, his healthcare is not good. I don't know if you're aware of how we operate, but it is real crappy. And like he just proved
he's got a PPO. He's gonna have to travel to like Oaxaca for.
It's gonna be weeks. And he just, I mean, to be fair, he just proved that he wasn't a very good guard, really. So I'm pretty disappointed in his services.
And to find an in-network doctor is killer around here.
You'd have to lose a liver. So now they are in the truck, and they are going to escape Mexico. And it's a new compatriot and a couple randos, new compatriot and his family, which has a young son, mama, and a cute daughter, child lady.
Son? I didn't see a son.
I thought there was another kid involved. He doesn't play a role. I just thought I think he like in the grand sweep of his arms, this was his family.
Okay, wow. I blacked that dude out.
I mean, there were no lines or anything. I think they just showed him. So Brian, and then so they were traveling, and there is a cut to a phone call of an FBI agent who's obviously in league with the bad guys.
One of my favorite one-liners from with a lot of like really bad cliche dialogue was like our rabbit has escaped.
Do you say rabbit flew the coop? I really wish he had.
Our little rabbit has escaped his cage.
Yeah. It was like what? Like what? And so he finds out about this, and he makes a phone call, and he is calling obvious very bad dude number 7. Like it's a bald guy, and he's basically a slab of Randy.
Like a low rent Vin Diesel. Like he just radiating anger. Like his parents did not treat him well. Probably had like 17 brain cells left after all the roids. Like it was just.
All I know is rage. Like it was like, okay, you're a bad person. Noted. But this is my favorite. Like I loved this interaction. The bunny fled the cage, escaped the cage, and then he's like. And I think he's like going to the border. He's going to the border.
He's like, consider it done.
Consider it done. And it was like, I was like, wait, you didn't get like a where, like area? You didn't get a when? You didn't like, is this like 6 hours ago? Like he didn't get any real information. Like, do we know where he's headed? Like he could go, there are other the border's kind of long. I don't know if you like, that wall is expensive for a reason. It's not a single place. So I was like, this is sort of. He's like, no, I got it. Don't worry. I'll put my top men on it. So now we know the baddies know that Ferrell is out on the prowl, and so then cut back to Ferrell is on the truck with the family, and they are like, you see a scene. He looks out the window a little bit, like a little gap in the van they're in or truck they're in, and you can see like a technical, and some narcos basically. And he's like, narcos crap.
At some point we smash cut. I love when Evan says smash cut.
Okay.
Smash cut.
Okay.
And are we talking about the boring parts of this thing now? Like,
sure. I mean, let's talk. I mean, like it's part of the like it is part of the Badwatch.
Yeah, that everything in this is just so like heavy-handed and just like like awful. But
you're talking about the what was the name of her name? The lady who's
the lady.
Yeah. The spook ex-spook, I guess, who's now in corporate America.
Yeah, in the like. awful like Google, Facebook.
Yeah, so you see like
search
this very clear like tech office, and there's like and you can tell because there's a slide. Like I actually watched this episode like twice, so I was like, this is I feel like I don't know I feel like I really didn't like this and like all, so I need to like see if I gotta mine the gold here, and I was like, there's a slide.
Mine the gold from the inmates.
Yeah. As I punch the episode vigorously, I have to extract the gold. So I was like, okay, let's just stereotype the crap out of this. Like a super secure company, no one can bring. They're like, as people are coming in to this office, so like you can't have any technology, and all your phones are taken and whatnot. And so like people take photos with Polaroids and stuff. Like it's ridiculous. And there's a slide, and it's like, oh, we're a super hip tech stuff. Okay, gotcha. And she's at this hyper tech company, and it's called Ajna.
I don't know. It was just
something like that. But the whole
of...
but this was where like the hacking and the tech side came in, and it was so crazy and absurd. Like it was just you like there's this like I understand the idea of like a whole bunch of databases interacting, you make connections that normally wouldn't be made, right? That's the whole idea of that system. But they were like the visual part of it to make hacking cool, right? It was just like these. It was just. I think what it actually was word cloud. Someone's like John, Jim,
like a 3D word
Tomahawk.
cloud. Yeah,
it was a 3D word cloud. And they're like typing things furiously, but it was a search bar. Like it's like oh, that was just I'm searching for this gun type or something. So she's like, this is obviously someone who cares about Ferrell and has been looking for him, I guess, since last season, and so she's like she's got hopes that he's still alive. It's been months, but she's still checking for him. And that's their relationship.
Yeah. I feel like I was able to garner a lot of like the end of the last season that like she was part of some sort of like organization
that he was
like,
part
department.
of too. Yeah, like she was his boss or something.
Behind,
yeah.
She got demoted, and then had to quit and somehow managed to land a job with this super cool search company or something.
Yeah, well, she's got all these government connections. That's the idea. Like they have a meeting with like the deputy director of the CIA, FBI, something like that, and so he knows her really well, and he's like trying to see if the government's going to buy into this Ajna system or whatever it's called to track everyone. Basically, they were like, the NSA does this stuff, but we're gonna make it a corporate thing in our fantasy world of Taken, so that we can have this corporate angle of adds a layer of tension, I guess, but not really. So they have this meeting.
Social commentary, Andy. Biting social commentary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hashtag spy me too, is it? so they have this meeting between the deputy director of some org, I can't remember, and then the lady's there, and then her direct boss, I guess, was the CEO of the company that makes the Ajna thing. And so they're like talking, and it's like a tense moment.
That guy was a douche, by the way.
Yeah, and I don't really know why. Like it was, and it didn't even make sense to me. The reason his character was a douche, at least his given reason. Maybe they're setting something up for later, but they did it poorly.
Biting social commentary, like he was like, oh, well,
so
maybe I'm getting ahead of it.
Yeah, so they're in the meeting, and he's like, the deputy director guy is like, why do we want your system? And the lady, fancy pants lady, chimes in, is like, it is because we can find human traffickers, for example. You can find anyone, and she's like, we need links to like date your, I use Homeland Security is what he was, because she's like, we need links to like airplane tickets, all this stuff, and we can find everyone who's moving through the system. And then her boss, the CEO, is like
undercuts her and like
yeah, and it's like, well, yeah, I guess human trafficking all goes through the airports, and she's like, it does. And he was like, okay. And then he was like mad about that, and then he didn't know. It's just a strange. I guess they were trying to paint the corporate America as out of touch or something. I don't really know what biting. It was more like blunt gnawing. Like all their teeth had been knocked out already. by Ferrell with Ferrell, and they've been gnawing on it.
Gumming commentary.
Yeah, gumming commentary. I was like, I don't really know where you're going. This is mushy. So he's like mad at her or something, and then the next scene is him and her. Like he's doing yoga.
On the roof, of course.
With like a really weird high stance. Like his legs are like 2 shoulder widths apart. I was like, this is a power stance. Like it's like butts clenched, hips thrust outward.
Like
he's
like the sky.
Yeah, like praying. Like I don't know that pose. Well, I was like, all right. They're having. He's like, I want to debrief up here with my hips out. Like, she's like, so you just wanted me to be quiet and don't speak unless spoken to. And he's like, no, there's just no money in freeing slaves, sexual slave labor.
Where's the money in that? Yeah.
It was like, I mean, isn't good PR good PR like? I mean, any PR is good PR, but then if you have actual good PR, that's good, right? Like
that's generally a good thing. Yeah.
People will be interested, and maybe it's not the best money, but you have this service to offer. I didn't quite get that. You could still offer whatever. It just seemed like a weird point for them to be making.
Yeah. Well, and then they were suffering from the key. This is like, you know, like a you know, some sort of Dilbert like error of like, well, 1.0 we have 1.0 and that's pretty cool, but 2.0 is going to be even better. And so then everyone's like, well then screw 1.0, like right. We're going to wait for 2.0.
Yeah, that seemed interesting too. Like what there were
2.0 can find everything.
Yeah, it can find anyone. Like yeah, she was like, if 2.0 could do even more. It was just like, I mean, was 1.0 just kind of crappy? Like, if you're in the phone book, we can find you. But if you're not, oh, there you go.
1.0 is Bing.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So now cut back to the Mexico side of things.
Cut.
Smash cut. Yes. Thank you, Evan. Smash cut back to Mexico. The narcos are coming. They're gonna like put an extra border tax on the people there. And Brian's like, I know it's gonna happen. He's talking to his main man, the father of the family. He's like, just don't do anything. I think they're gonna take your daughter, but you have to not do anything. I will get her back. And he's like, okay. And the narcos come and they take the daughter because I mean that's what they're gonna do. I guess they're gonna sell her. And
Rica, yeah.
yeah, really. And so, like, they're gonna sell her, and the father is like unable to listen, like
unable to not do anything.
Yeah, he's unable. Like the man who killed 3 people, like in a second, a little before was like, he's like, you're not good enough. I don't think you're up to the task. I got this though, guys. I got this. They all have guns, and I have not got it. I got it. So he charges, and they're just gonna shoot him because I mean, like they don't care. This guy's a jerk to them, so they're just gonna kill him. And then Ferrell steps up and says, "Take me, instead." And so they like put.
This was a bad choice.
They take him, and they take the girl, and they knock him out and put a bag over his head. I don't really know why they bothered to do that. Like, that seemed really unnecessary.
Yeah,
but it was.
Well, I mean, just I
was just to prove that they're bad, I guess. Because I was like,
to make it more palatable when he murders them later.
Like, yeah, I think that it was just like, why were they like they're going to like I don't. He's like you're good for ransom or something. So, but like, is he going to memorize the desert tracklands of Mexico? Like, oh yeah, there was a 47th cactus we turned at.
But he does. He still does.
Oh, that made me so angry.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah.
So then he wakes up.
So he wakes up. He's talking to the girl.
But that's the thing. Is he's like, you must do everything that I say. And it is the loudest whisper conversation I've ever heard. Like,
yeah, the camera cuts to like the back of the bald baddies. All the bad guys are bald here. I don't know. This is a theme. It cut to him, and he's just like oblivious, not paying attention to the girl who's very obviously having a conversation. So he's like, yeah,
because she's being very obvious about it. She's like looking back and like, not just like. Looking off into the distance.
I thought she was okay.
Oh man,
she was already like she was leaning in already.
I guess. It was okay. But he was like his gravelly like You need to do exactly what I say. His like Batman whisper would have been audible in every corner of that vehicle.
Did you guys bring a cat with you? I don't.
And so then his insane like MacGyver ass plan.
Oh yeah. So he's like he's handcuffed and he's got a hood over his head and he's talking to the girl and saying, "Okay, I need you to. They're gonna split us up." But you need to not let fear is the little death. And he was like, "Don't let fear ruin."
He gave her a pep talk.
Yeah,
I liked that.
That seemed reasonable. And then, but he's like, "Okay,
that was useful."
So they're gonna split us up. I don't know how or why he knew that. Like, why would you spread your forces? That didn't really make any sense. Like, do ransoms go to a different place? Like, you can't. The ransoms,
it's a different department.
Yeah, I was like, what? Just seems like
you're going to the sex trafficking department.
Yeah.
You're going to the ransoms department.
Yeah,
like we can't mix these things up. Like it's totally different accounts.
I was like, you still need to hold people. Like, I feel like how many holding places. I was like, whatever. So he's like, give me your bobby pin in your hair because I can use that to escape because I'm MacGyver. And also, when they take you in a separate vehicle, because I know that's what they're going to do because I'm clairvoyant, break your bracelet and it's got a bunch of beads on it. So every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes of driving, I want you to throw a bead out the window and I will come for you. And I was like, what? Every 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
So think about. So hold on. So
what if the trip was longer than that? One. What if like you're throwing how fast the car moving? You throwing a bead out of a window in a dusty area, like, and that's just gonna. Are they made of like heavy lead and they land and then try to beacon into the night sky? Because that's the only way you're gonna find any of these.
Yeah, it's not easy to find small things. Let me tell you, like. I lost my wedding ring this week, and maybe that's you know what, I didn't even make this connection till now. But maybe that's
for the viewers at home. He's not currently wearing it, so he hasn't been successful.
And it's not. I'm not as good at Ferrell as finding tiny shit. That like every 10 miles he like finds this one tiny bead.
Yeah, that was nuts. So
and they're not like even metallic. They're just like wispy
plastic. Yeah, it was plastic, which means they would bounce all the way hell and gone. So anyways, they split him up, and the bald baddie takes him with like two dudes to like a place where they have burning cans.
The low rent Vin Diesel gets him.
That comes later. No, that's later. So it's Mexican bald baddie and two nameless guards who will die. And they have him kneeling like 20 feet away from their truck. Okay, and he's next to like some burning barrels. I was like, wait, you just like, did someone just set that? I don't really understand why you set. Right. I was like, why are things on fire right now? Like, who's stoking this? Why?
For the atmosphere.
Just like, so you just like, did you just pull over somewhere and there was fire and you're like, this is where the magic happens. I don't really.
And this feels like the right place for roadside execution.
Yeah, I was like, I don't. So the narco turns out to know Ferrell and calls the FBI guy. He's like, I've got your little. Did he call him his rabbit?
Oh, I wish he did.
They should have kept that going. Like everyone just knew on the same rabbit wavelength. He's nibbling the carrot. I don't know what that means, but it's vaguely sexual and sort of weird. So he's like, I've got your guy. He sends him a photo, and he's like, all right, you can take care of him. I'll send a cleanup team. And so
to compensate you,
which is like, that sounds rather ominous, really. You just send me some money, Venmo me, Chase QuickPay. I don't.
This is why God created Bitcoin. You know, like for dirty deeds like this.
You just Chase QuickPay me and send me an emoji of a body. Just like, is there an emoji of a person lying on the ground? Just send me that. That'd be great.
Just the gun emoji.
Thumbs up. Venmo me $6,000 with just a gun emoji. Got it. That's received. So
I read you loud and clear.
So the this is, I love this. So you see, Ferrell is still working on his handcuffs with the bobby pin, and he's like trying, and he's like failing very clearly, like he's like getting frustrated a little bit, and as the guy is like, okay, and so he turns away instead of just like, because this is the guy who had a gun earlier, instead of just shooting him there, he turns away and starts walking, and he talks to his other guys, and he's like, smoke him. And so one guy who was leaning nonchalantly against the truck gets his gun out, or he's got like an assault rifle. He like decides to walk right up to him to like discuss this with him. He's like,
he wanted to feel the blood spatter.
He was like, I'm about this. This is gonna be good, boys. This is gonna be good, boys. You're gonna be my good dead boy. So
I'm gonna think about this later for a long time.
So he walks up and he's I think he says like snidely, like, sorry about, like, you're gonna burn. I don't remember. They're gonna like do that tire death thing or something.
Oh, they were.
Yeah, they were gonna put the tire on
him. Yeah, they were gonna necklace him.
So they're gonna put the tire and the gasoline on him. It was gonna be
because other like third world country cliche.
Or maybe that was the way of hiding the death. Maybe maybe it's even sort of logical if they make it like a gang thing as opposed to what it was. Maybe that's what, I don't know, but it was just shoot him.
I took it as like, well, we're just gonna,
because it's fun to watch another guy scream.
Yeah.
So anyways, the guy's standing right next with his gun in his face, and Brian gets his handcuffs off. It was interesting because he got both of them off, and he got both of them off. So he like spent enough time to undo both bracelets. I was like, okay, that seems like you should just get one and focus on surviving. So this was delightful. He throws dust at the guy who's approaching.
Pocket sand.
Yeah, he pocket sanded him good, because the guy squawked and like fell down, and then was like getting back, and then he grabbed the other guy's gun and shot him and shot the other guy, and then he ran out of bullets then he did like a backflip and rolled back by the burning barrels, and the other guy, the bad boss,
should have never stopped by those burning barrels. They were a bad omen.
Yeah, he's like shooting at him, and then he's like, Brian runs out of bullets, and then it's like, what do we do? Oh no, it's a very tense moment for everyone involved. And so the guy is apparently entranced by, it was 3 barrels side by side on fire. He was entranced by this and stalked towards them, and he looks behind the barrel with his gun, and there's just the gun there. And then Brian hits him with an entire barrel that he's picked up and hits him in the face, that he has silently navigated around these 3 barrels and picked up a barrel without being seen. And this was, mind you, the daylight. Like, it was... It was pretty bad situational awareness on the bad guy's part. So he doesn't, I was like, so then he gets in his car and drives away, but I was like, he didn't kill, like, why wouldn't you kill him? Like, he's very clearly a bad guy. I was like, you should make sure he's not going to find you again. Like, who wants to deal with this stuff again?
You'd be worth an extra bullet.
It was one. There were 3 guns lying around. You could have just one bullet, and you'd be not have to worry about it. So then,
which again brings me to later in this movie, whatever episode, which made me annoyed.
Yeah.
But again, getting ahead of myself.
What scene you're talking about? The bad bald guy number 7 that we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
the cleanup crew.
They come, and that guy might have like been able to say like he went that way, so he wasn't dead. He was like waking up,
right?
And it's like,
oh yeah, so yeah, the cleanup crew shows up, and he takes his phone, which I was like, do you know his passcode? I don't like. I don't. What are you gonna do with that? Like, I don't really.
This is the Wild West of Mexico. Like they don't password protect phones.
So the cleanup crew comes, and he takes his phone, and then the guy gets up, is like grunting, and he gets up and he shoots him. I was like, I guess they just wanted to prove that their guy was a bad guy.
Yeah,
I think there was the only reason they did that.
That guy could be like, hey, they went that way, or
anything.
Or like,
and then you can shoot him. But
then you could have been like, awesome, thanks, bam.
Yeah.
You still could have proven to all those viewers at home that you were a bad guy.
So the then they're doing. Oh man, we have just blown through this episode. I mean, we did spend a solid 10 minutes of recording time just giving Evan the guff. Dear listeners, you won't hear that, but Will and I spent some real good time. We got real nice and personal with Evan. Gave him some ASMR stuff to listen to because he is doing the editing for this still. So it is a delight. But I think we might end up just skipping a bunch of this.
Well, the stuff in the States is so boring. So boring.
All the hacker stuff, I just didn't care.
Oh, jeez, that guy was just such a Kilroy. That was just so obnoxious. The thing that I want to talk about that is like how many just cliche like pieces of dialogue, and they also was it with Kilroy.
That was the hacker dude, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were they like referencing other like similar? And I didn't care enough to go back and check, but I felt like at one point they said Quantico and Scorpion like in a 10-second time frame. If they were like name checking those, like because they were similar, like techie espionage series, or if they were like actually referring to like project.
I don't remember that.
Like double entendre-y thing. Like I don't know. I didn't. It's like what are they trying to prove here? Like I don't know.
Well, I guess I do want to finish the arc of the Mexico story because that's the interesting arc.
Because when that happened, I'm like, yeah, it's taken time. Like, and then it raised a lot of questions, which I will not be able to answer, because that would involve having to like go back and watching the show. But like, what I would like is, I watch a lot of children's television right now in my life, and they're like very like soothing in their like their arcs. Mm-hmm. Like one thing happens and then you're like, oh, it's letter of the day. And like, what's letter of the day? And
what is it? Oh, they told us we're all right.
Yeah. and then there's some more things about the letter of the day, for another couple of like segments. And then you get the number of the day. Like, and what I was wondering is because it's a Taken franchise, if they take time out of every episode to do like a sex trafficking abduction bust. And I really hope they do. They're like somewhere, in Africa, like breaking up a drug ring. And then it's like, oh wait, like the local waif.
We have to continue the regular arcs, but
the local waif just got sold into sex slavery. I'm on it. And he just like charges through, throws a barrel at somebody.
Yeah,
and rescues the girl.
I wonder if they do that
before she's violated and like everybody's happy. Like I want that to be the case.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I need that continuity in my life.
That'll be for others who are braver than us to go into that no man's land of season 2, episode 2. So let's finish the Mexico arc and maybe talk about a little bit what happens in the States. But then that was just so boring and bad that I think we can ignore that mostly and just say that's the real. There was no gold to mine there. There was a dearth. So Brian has escaped the bad narcos, and now he's searching for his main man's daughter. And we see him actually find a bead.
That's right.
I really wanted. It's in the dark. It's in the dark. Yeah, he's driving along
the lights of his El Camino or whatever it is.
Yeah. Also, when he left, so he took one car. He left the other vehicle like there. I was like, and you didn't. So you didn't shoot the guy. You left him there. He's alive. You just hit him with a bucket, right? You hit him with a bucket. That's not. And then you didn't disable the vehicle. Yeah, you didn't disable the vehicle. That seems just. That's like you're inviting trouble. I don't know why you would do that. So he's driving around and he found the beads because it was so ridiculous. So he finds
every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes he found the bead, tracked him right back.
They cut to her, faithfully pulling a bead out, and
and like they get
totally. Dudes in the front of the car, totally oblivious.
Because there would be a lot of motion, just wrestle with this bracelet, and then inevitably she drops stuff, and then she's like scooping stuff out. They don't show that, but I know what happened. She dropped the bracelet, scooping everything out of the wheel well. Like no. So now she's in like virginal white, and we're supposed to she's wearing this dress. I was like, get out of here with this. So they're like posting pictures on Facebook just to be like extra skeezy for this whole sex thing. But Brian comes.
More biting social commentary about technology and social media.
So Ferrell comes in and just and cleans house.
Just
there's like 4 people, and they're all dead. Let's be real. Like
throws in a fake grenade. I enjoyed
that scene. Yeah, he threw a grenade in. I love this so much. So he threw this grenade in, and a guy saw the grenade, picked it up, and was gonna toss it back, and then decided to check the pin, and was like, "The pin's in," and then he gets shot. And I was like,
"Well, no, the pin." He's like, "The pin's in." Huh? And he opens the door.
Oh, he opened. I forgot that. He opens. He's like, "Who would do this joke?" Steve, get out of here! You with your terrible jokes.
Who would pull such a cruel trick? Let me come out and rail against the person who had done so.
This is the 6th time this week, Jim. I told you this is not funny. You quit that crap. You quit it. Unacceptable. That is unprofessional kidnapper behavior. All right. All right. I'm going to talk to corporate HR, and you will get written up. 2 write-ups, and then it's a real grenade. It's a pin pull. That's what you get. Oh God. So yeah, he opened the door, and then he gets shot, and it was like, this is awful. And then like people didn't really react to the gunshots again. Like they did a little bit better than the prison guards did, but like not really. He cleared the first room. He goes in the second room. There's more people, and the guy's like, "What?" And it was like, "You didn't just hear like a lot of gunfire and like several bodies hitting the floor?" And he's like, "No. This is again." These birthdays, they get you every time. Can never tell if it's a police raid and murder, a swashbuckling murder fest, or a birthday. It's really rough. God. So then he saves the girl, and she's like been drugged, and he saves her. They go, and I'm sort of just like losing. I lost interest after that. It just like they had. Like, there was this whole drama about the lady...
Some woman soldier of fortune in Africa.
And then she flew to Mexico to help him, because now he's fleeing, and now bald guy number 7 that the FBI guy initially reached out to is chasing him and the daughter, and they're in their El Camino, not going very fast. And then
they're in a technical or
and
something.
They have that was awful too. That was awful. It was enjoyable, but it was awful. They're getting chased. Oh
yeah, he like wins a firefight
with a technical, and he's
his El Camino.
There's like 3 people in this truck, 3 people who can shoot, I think, and then there's him and this girl, and he's like, "No, I got this, bro." So this technical's chasing them because bad guy number 7 found him, and they're shooting. And initially it was like, "Oh, it's the narcos. Why would they shoot? Because they're trying to save. They want the girl to sell." But it was like, "Oh, it's that bad guy," and so they're just shooting, and they're just missing. Like, they blew out the back window, but that's when the actual like useful shooting stopped. And then I looked as the camera was stationary, and they drove past the camera, and I looked, and like the guy in the technical was shooting, but he was just like aimed up. I don't know if you saw that, like, they drove, and he was just, like, casually had the gun, like, pointed mostly at, like, a portion into the sky, and I was like, well, you're stormtrooper in this guy. I don't know what you're doing. Like, focus, bad guy number 7. I know you got roid rage, but you need to, like, aim. It was really, I was like, oh, I mean, okay, there's not a lot of tension there. So then they are, like weaving, but it's, like, still, they're just, like... It was really bad. And so they're like faced off then, right? He like breaks. He's shooting at them.
Just
the girl's driving.
Take the wheel.
And then he's like, break, and they break quickly, and then the technical goes and turns and faces them. And they're not just like shooting him and killing him. I don't really know why. And then Rocket comes in from the side.
Damn.
That was
Rocket
bad
Ex
CGI. But that was the girl.
That was the soldier of fortune.
Yeah, she came. That the lady from the ex-spook lady reached out to and got help from to save Brian.
And maybe we should like all along the way. There's just like this we've been alluding to this storyline going on in Washington D.C. that
Yeah.
is just like the most flaccid, like
they're trying to
she hacked into this thing to steal the 2.0.
Well, that was the thing that was so crazy to me. That drove me a little bit bonkers. So she's like, she's talking to the head of security for the corporate group, right? And she's like wooing him, like flashing a little cleavage, and he's just like smitten. And so he tells her like everything. And there's like this hyper secure room, which she gets by in like a second flat once. But it's like there was very clearly a camera in that room when she could see that room. She was like, "What's that room?" And he's like, "Oh, that's our super secure system to get into Ajana 2.0." And she's like, "Okay, ooh, yeah, thanks for showing me everything." And then they show her like sneaking in. I don't know how she got the password, whatever, but she sneaks in, and then she pulls.
She did have a thing, and it's like camera's disabled. But again, but just the like, I disabled the cameras, like,
just like there's a lot of hand waving about how,
absolutely,
and like she gets in, and like apparently she also there was no record of this, and like the fact that the cameras are disabled, no one will remark upon this that their super secret room is now been penetrated, or the cameras got sleepy. It's fine, everything's fine. So she goes in, and then she like. This was maddening. So she's got this hacker friend, the Kilroy guy or whatever. So she's like, you know what I'll do? I'll get the source code or something for the system. So she goes in and she takes a Polaroid, and that single Polaroid is enough for our hacker friend.
And he sees, he's like, great googly moogly.
Yeah, he's like, this Polaroid is enough to remake this whole system.
But then in another one of his great, like, it's like. You're looking at a Formula One racer without gasoline, without the.
God. Yeah, no, it was just a lot of ridiculous mumbo jumbo. But that's, I guess real like technical stuff. It's technical. That's the issue. But it's just like you were able to get enough visual information in a Polaroid to encompass this entire gargantuan database spanning system. But this, I was like, this is bonkers, and it wasn't really fun. That part of it.
No.
But the Mexico stuff was ridiculous and fun.
Yeah, I was entertained by the Mexico stuff.
It was bad, but it was fun.
Again, I think my level of entertainment was ratcheted up because I just imagined him as Will Ferrell. Which reminds me, so the girl is saved. Oh, that was before she got abducted. They're like, oh, she wants to be an engineer. And
yeah.
They kind of, it was
American
almost like a laugh,
Dream.
like, ha, ha, ha.
Well, he was like American Dream and from Ferrell, and I was like, okay, cool, I guess.
American Dream. So he saves the girl.
Yeah.
They get reunited with their family across the border.
Yep.
I don't know how to thank you. You can thank her. You can thank me by making sure she's becomes an engineer.
Groan.
But probably the most like relevant and disturbing thing that happened back in Washington D.C. is Will Ferrell like shaved off his beard, and he looks a lot. That dude looked a lot like Liam Neeson after he lost his beard.
Well, I think that's probably why they picked him as the actor.
Well,
right?
I know, yeah, but I was so used to him being Will Ferrell in my head that like once that came off and he had the
illusion was ruined.
Yeah, that really hurt. That really hurt me.
It really hurt the show. I think she just kept that. You know what he had? He had a great big bushy beard. All right. Well, I think I'm feeling pretty good about this. How are you feeling, Will?
Yeah.
You know what else I'm feeling? I'm feeling financial.
God, I was gonna do that. I was gonna sneak that in anyway. But you're the showrunner.
Okay.
That's what I've decided that you're. Well,
I
can't.
Well, do you want to do a thing? I mean, we're just like Evan can cut all this to just do your thing.
Yeah, he's not gonna cut this action that he gave me.
So, Will, you're feeling financial.
I'm feeling financial.
Okay.
So, I received from Evan the sponsor for the company.
Okay.
Babies Are Us.
Okay.
The IP was out there, so they took it. Mm-hmm. You're a father, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm a father. You know that just like endorphin surge that you get from like holding a little baby.
Mixed with mild disgust, yeah.
Well, but no, that surge goes away once they poop their pants or they
Vomit
start
on you.
screaming and crying. That's no fun. And I mean, I can tell you, like, that is not fun. You know that's not fun. You know, general hoi polloi, you know, millennials are killing having babies. Like, they're everything. So...
Killing having babies?
So if you... imagine, if you will, you, instead of having to deal with all that terrible shit, like, literally, as well as figuratively, you could just have somebody bring a baby to you. You just get that warm endorphin rush.
Get that oxytocin flowing.
And then, as soon as something needs to be done that you don't want to do, a handler comes and takes the baby and does their thing and then brings it back to you. And you rent it you can rent the baby on an hourly basis. And I swear this isn't, you know, human slavery or anything, because their parents sign their parents sign off on this. It's okay. It's really okay.
So this is rent a baby.
Yeah. So you rent a baby for as long as you want.
Yeah.
And so if you go
until it grows up.
what's your website now? You know, there's like a link on the Badwatch website, and you get your first hour is 50% off if you enter in Bad Baby. Bad Baby is the code.
Bad Baby is the code.
So you guys should check out Babies R Us.
All right.
It's not just, you know, baby. It's not just baby things
baby
anymore.
Gear, but now it's also
just the babies.
Literal babies. It's a little bit. So who's paying for the maids then to take care of the babies?
Well, that's where your fee comes. It's a modest, extreme fee.
So you're paying the parents. And there's a little bit of something for the baby. It gets a little extra passy or something. And the maid.
Well, after I've become aware of this service, I've thought about doing. You know, they talk about the gig economy. I mean, you know, our baby's pretty cute. If you just would go out and do this and rent out your baby, you could make some bank.
That's how the measles epidemic started.
Andy, if this service is around, if I knew about this before I had children, I don't know that I would have gone through with it. Like, it's a beautiful thing.
All right. Well,
so check it out.
Well, I'm really glad to have some strong sponsorship today. So now we need to talk about Goodwatch. And Will's bragging to me.
I'm ready. I'm champing at the bit.
Real excited. He said he had two.
Did you know champing at the bit is actually with an A? CHAMPING?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, and it disturbs me that it's not chomping.
It's just...
Okay.
All right, so
I'm going to go first. I'm going to go first.
Yeah, Will's going to go first.
I'm going to go first.
He might even go twice.
I can go twice. Okay. Andy, are you ready?
My body is ready.
My good watch is Property Brothers.
Okay.
So
I've seen it.
So yeah. So this is,
I think I've seen it with you guys.
Probably you have. We have it on a lot at home. You can just put it on in the background, and it just simultaneously like entertains you / makes you feel bad about your life. Like it's great. These guys, they're like 6 foot a million. Mm-hmm. They have like
and they're millionaires.
Their cheekbones are 6 foot a million and two. Like, and they're identical twins, and they go around and they fix houses
and print money
and
cracking wise the entire way.
The best thing about these guys is like you physically cannot dislike them. Like they ooze charisma, and they're just like these good looking guys. Like they have like dozens of stalkers, but they're always in character. Like they always have this like they're always doing like brother jab.
They
like,
really are
real smarmy brothery jabs.
Uh-huh.
And so I've read more than one like article from these cynical like post media kind of millennial pieces or whatever. They don't want to like them, but they like come through and they're just like I don't know guys, like
they're enjoyable people.
They wanted to like expose them for the frauds that they were, and like they just couldn't. Like this is how they are all the time. Like they wake up and they're just like, "Hey, we're gonna remodel somebody's house today and sell it for a 50% profit." It's amazing. They are.
Yeah, I do like it. I do like that show. Yeah.
Yeah, they are the best part of the hollow parts of the American dream.
All right, did you want to lay out your second Goodwatch?
No, you go, and then I'll one up yours.
Okay. My good watch for this week is Bosch. It's a Amazon Prime original, and it's a detective series, and it's pretty fun.
I've heard about this. Somebody was tweeting about this.
It's fun. I really like it. It's also in high definition available, so it's a very pretty looking show. I really enjoy like the hard bitten detective style of stuff, like noir stuff. There's generally like longer arcs that are going on, and then also each episode usually has something going on specific to it. So it's pretty fun. I enjoy it a lot, and I'd recommend it.
Yeah. Part of the reason I did these good watches, I mean, I consume far less media than you and Evan do. I mean, but I guess I consume different kinds of media than you guys do, and so partly this is just to piss Evan off, to put like reality shows on here. So my other.
We're gonna have a sub good watch category for like co-host good watches, so it can be removed.
You should segregate my good watch. My other one is Jersey Shore Family Vacation.
Oh my god! Here it is, folks. The end times have come for us.
So my wife.
Actually, I've not seen this.
My wife loves reality TV, and she loved Jersey Shore, and I hated Jersey Shore.
I mean, it was a train wreck. Train wrecks are fun to watch.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think this is like end stage train wreck. Is Jersey Shore Family Vacation? Like this is them like pulling bodies out of the wreckage, like train wreck.
Oh man!
So everyone is just like gone off in like a train wreck. They've all gone off on different trajectories, but they all like bring them back. The money brings them all back together.
Yeah,
and the one dude, like, went to rehab, like, so he doesn't do anything anymore. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do drugs.
But he still does gym tan laundry, though, right?
He does GTL.
Okay.
But he did tax fraud with his brother for a while.
Oh my god.
And so I think he just got out of prison.
Jeez.
He had to like go to prison for a few months.
Oh my god.
But he's like a changed man.
Yeah.
So he goes. He's there, like the few of the girls, like they're just it's a great gig for them. Like they just go, like they have kids and they just pay to have somebody go and they just get trashed.
Yeah.
And but then the other guy is he's sort of spun this into being a professional DJ. Mike,
that's the Mike guy,
the blowout dude.
Yeah.
And the kettlehead dude is just like. He's way off the. He's in this like abusive. His girlfriend like dragged him in a car or something like that.
What?
Or pushed him out of a moving car.
And this was all displayed in the show for us to consume.
Well, not like that part of it.
But no,
like, the after effects of all of this, and so there's like crazy things where like. Mike, the situation dude, like comes through and he's just at these clubs where everybody's pounding back. Like he's a recovering alcoholic. Like wouldn't that be bad? But then the more I think about it, I'm like, no. Like every day he's at the show and they do this. He's like, this is why I don't do this anymore. Like them getting in these like scream fights about who ate the last hamburger, or like one of the girls like just merging into a bush on the side of the road like slow crash style.
Oh my God.
Like. You can kind of just see it in his face. Like, this is, he's like, he's like pounding his water, his lemonade. He's like, I'm glad that's not me anymore. And like,
oh my God.
He's living his best life.
It sounds
so
wonky.
And no, but the best thread, and God help me, I did not, but I almost, because they had a co-dating show, but is the Brillo pad hair dude, kind of the most normal one.
Okay.
And then the blowout hair dude. Have like a bromance.
Okay.
But it's kind of like gone, it's sort of like their fake, like, like homosexual, homoerotic relationship. But it's kind of gone like galaxy brain to the point that I'm pretty sure they actually are gay for each other. But they just like haven't admitted it yet. So the one episode, this is the one that sucked me in, was they were there, like they were hanging out.
Uh-huh.
They picked up some girls and they were going back to their place. And they like share a room, the two guys, and they were gonna like
no wall. They
were just like
they
like have two beds, and they were just gonna have a very like
Close.
very loose foursome, I guess. And
A disconnected foursome.
But then, like, unbeknownst to the Brillo pad hair dude, the blowout hair dude had a gig. And so he's like, because it's 4 a.m. Like, this is when these gigs start. So, or 2 a.m. He's like, I got to go. I got a gig in an hour. Okay. And so he leaves. He's sitting there with, like, these 2 girls that are good to go. And he is like, it's not the same without Paulie around. He sent him home. He's like, all right. He's like, I guess the party's over, girls. And he, like, gets him a taxi and they go home. And I'm like,
well, I mean, if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. That's a weird thing to do, especially for this crowd, I guess. But I can also be like, no, that's just weird. That's just weird all around.
Yeah.
That's so strange.
It's an interesting anthropological experience.
Watch us monkeys squirm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are my good watches. Both I think they're probably the first reality TV shows on your.
Hopefully the last. All right. Well, this was Goodwatch. This was Badwatch. Those were good watches.
Those were good watches.
This has been Badwatch.
Oh wait, no.
What?
No. Now, Badwatch 2, Electric Boogaloo. The thing that this reminded, and Evan, you can kill this in post. But
Fiction post, killed in post, murdered in post. It's all dead to me. What's up?
Destroy it in post. So Gwen, this was several years ago. Gwen's like, I really want to go see this movie, and I'm like, oh,
what
Gwen,
movie?
this is gonna be a bad movie. It's called Max.
Okay.
So it's about a dog, like, who befriends the little brother of the soldier that he was with, and they break up a weapons smuggling ring.
What?
That he was like taking things from the Taliban to, like, people in his town, and this teen.
Oh my God.
It is nuts.
I'm looking, dear listener, or just Evan, if you're
Evan.
Dear Evan, if you're the only one still with us. I'm looking at the poster. It says Max, best friend, hero, Marine. Oh man, that is delightful. That looks awful.
Yeah.
And so you went and saw it?
Yeah, at the cinema, at the large screen.
Mm-hmm. Did that improve the viewing experience?
Oh man, it was a lot of bad. It was more than 4K of bad, like, coming through. Just like, I don't want to get into it too much because
we don't need to commit to another hour of this.
Yeah.
All right. So this has been Badwatch and Badwatch 2 Electric Boogaloo with Max. we watched Taken, the series. I actually started watching the second episode, so I let Netflix keep going, and I was like, it was like more of the same. It was just kind of like some real ridiculous stuff, and then I was like, so this is like, I would put this as mostly bad, but you could definitely watch it. Like it's not vile, but it's like
it was. It was That's what I was telling Gwen. Just like, how was it? Like, it was bad, but it wasn't like bad.
It didn't hurt me, but I was like, this is dumb. This is also dumb. This is dumb too. That's kind of funny how dumb it is, but
I couldn't muster a lot of care for that DC thing.
Yeah. So Badwatch. This was pretty bad. Thanks for listening.